Welcome to momedaram. In this video, we will see need of collection framework. Java variables. Variables are containers for storing data values. So, variables are used to store the data values. If we want to store the string data, we will use string variable like string name is equals to momedaram. By using this statement, we store the string value. If we want to store the integer values, we will use int variables. The data type will be int. Int roll number is equals to 123. So by using this statement, stores the integer here without decimals. So without decimal we can call as integer. If you want to store the float data, then we will use float data type. And if you want to store single character, that time we will use character variable. So by using this character variable, we can able to store the single character like such as A, B, M, anything we can able to store as a single character. If you want to store the boolean data, that is true or false, that time we will use boolean variable. So by using these variables, we can able to store the data values. Suppose a class contains 100 students and we want to store their roll numbers. We need 100 separate variables for storing the roll numbers. That means if we want to store 100 student details, roll numbers, we need 100 variables like roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3 and so on up to roll number 100. In this, we have initialized and declared in the single statement. For 100 statements will be 100 variables will be there. And sometimes we will just initialize and we will declare in somewhere. That time for these 100 variables, there will be 200 statements will be there. So this is not recommended approach. To store these variables with the same type, that time we will go with arrays. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable. Instead of declaring separate variables for each value, we will use arrays to store multiple values. That means if you see here, int array roll numbers is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100. So by using arrays, we can able to store multiple values of same data type. How can we handle a group of elements? Here elements may be a different type of data we can say. So we can use arrays to store a group of elements and we can handle them easily. So by using arrays, we can able to store group of elements and handle them easily. If you see in this example, we have created an array of type int of size 5 and we are storing a group of elements of type integer, and we are able to display that values also. When you run this program, it is giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can able to store and handle the group of elements by using arrays. And how can we handle a group of objects? In the earlier case, we have handled the elements. Elements we can say as primitive types. Sometimes we have to handle with the objects also. Objects is nothing but student related data, employee related data, department related data. Any class has kind of data if you wants to handle. How we can able to do that? By using arrays also, we can able to store a group of objects and handle them easily. If you see in this example, we have created employee object of type array of size 5 and we are initializing the values for that employee object, and we are able to display the names of the object of that array elements. So by using arrays, we can able to store a group of objects and we can able to handle them easily. So arrays have very powerful concept. Instead of using separate variables to store multiple values, we can happily go with arrays. By using arrays, we can able to store a group of elements or group of objects. Consider a scenario. We have created an array with 1000 size to store 1000 student details, but we get only 100 students details only. So we are storing 100 student details only. Remaining 900 memory locations are become wasted. Consider a scenario. We have created an array with size 1000 to store 1000 student details, but we get 1100 student details. In this case, arrays won't accept. So arrays will accept up to 1000 student details. If you give 1001th student detail, it will give exception saying that array index out of bounds exception. It is saying, hey, my size is 1000. I cannot able to access any more elements. Like that it will say. So arrays are fixed in size. That is, once they are created, its size is fixed. That means we cannot increase or we cannot decrease the size of the arrays. And if you see in this example, we have created an employee array of size 5. In the first index position, we have added employee object. In the second index position, we are trying to add another object, that is need for collection class object. It is giving error saying that, hey, required type is employee, but you provided is need for collection. It is saying that means this employee array is not accepting different class objects. If you see in this example, we have created an array of type int and we are trying to store the int values. In between we have added one string value also. So it is saying required type is int, provided is a string. It is saying, hey, I am integer type, I won't allow string type, like that it is saying. So arrays are homogeneous in nature. That means we cannot store different class objects into the same array. The reason is that array can store only one type of elements. Arrays are used to store only one type of elements. If we declare as int array, it will accept only int type. If we declare as a string array, it will accept only string. If we define character, it will accept only characters. It will not allow any other different types. Arrays are homogeneous in nature. If we want to store elements in an array based on some sorting order, so if we want to insert, the programmer has to write some code to achieve that process. And if he wants to search a particular element is available in the array or not, if he wants to search an element is available or not in the array, there is no inbuilt methods are there. The programmer has to write code to check whether the element is there or not. That means arrays are not implemented with any particular data structure. That is the reason there is no inbuilt methods are available to process the data. So we can say, if we want to process the array elements, there are no methods available to carry out this. That means no inbuilt methods are available to process the data. So even though arrays are powerful, there are some limitations are there. That is, arrays are fixed in size. That means once it is created, we cannot able to increase the size and decrease the size. And these arrays are accept only one type of data. That means homogeneous data it will allow. And there is no ready-made methods to process the data. These are all the some limitations we have with arrays. Due to these problems, programmers want better mechanism to store a group of elements. That mechanism is called collections. By using collections, we can able to overcome all these problems. So collections are growable in nature. That means the collection object will be created with the default size at the beginning. When the size is reached, if you are adding new element, extra element, that time automatically the size will be increased. So with respect to the size, collections are growable in nature. And by using collections, we can able to store heterogeneous data. That means we can able to store different type of data. Every collection class is implemented with particular data structure. So there are lot of inbuilt methods will be there. So if you want to store a data in the particular order, some sorting order, then we will use tree set. So by using tree set we can able to store the data based on some sorting order. If you want to check whether element is there or not, we can use contains method. There are inbuilt methods are there to process the data. So these are all the limitations we have with arrays. So to achieve this, to overcome these limitations, collections are needed. This is all about why collections are needed. Hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.